Welcome to Project Arrowhead. Tuesday, July, what's today, the 10th?
Yes, 10th.
Project Arrowhead, you're tuned in to Jim and something's missing. Gina.
Where's Gina? Well, Gina's not here, but the cat just walked in.
Gina's not here. I'm going to offer a reward for anybody that's seen my missing co-host.
Well, she was on her way or something.
Well, that's the cat. No.
Yeah.
But you know what? Callie, you want to take her place? Go ahead. You can get up there. So it'll be Project Arrowhead with Jim and Callie.
Oh, who am I? No.
I don't know.
Nobody, I guess.
All right. Let me see if I can figure out how to share this to my page.
You want me to do it while you're talking?
Yeah, go ahead. You can do it. Once again, remember, Project Arrowhead is brought to you by the Mohegan Sun's Big Three, Lansdowne Pub, Avalon Nightclub, and the Vista Lounge. Stop by, see Chris for VIP services at Avalon and Vista. This weekend, stop into Lansdowne Saturday night, starting at 10 o'clock. The area's #1 tribute band, not tribute band, it's the word I'm looking for. Cover band, Wicked Peach, will be taking the stage 10 o'clock at the Lansdowne Pub this Saturday night. No cover charge. There is a cover charge for Avalon. And like I said, for VIP service and VIP treatment, see Chris Cody. So, what's new with you, Gina? No.
Where is she?
I'm talking to Gina, Chris.
Chris.
It took you a while on that one.
Well, because I'm trying to share what's going on here.
And for those of you that don't know, I'm getting over a little bit of a pneumonia or bronchitis / pneumonia. Still not gone, but I'm feeling better. Still have a cough. As you probably heard last week on the, I called in and Gina did an outstanding job last week by her lonesome. And I posted a video. I did a Facebook Live, and I'm so proud of her. The courage that it took for her to admit the things that she admitted on the air last week was just unprecedented. It's the first time she's ever told anybody, and here she is. She just didn't hold back. She told everybody, and that took a lot of courage to do that. So hats off to Gina. Gina, you did great. Oh, sorry, I forgot. She will be here, I promise. Gina will be joining the show today at some point. You might want to share this to her page too there. Oh my God, I almost called you Chris. Keith.
Call me Chris.
It's because I did it on purpose the first time. The second time was an accident. I got some pretty interesting things to talk about this week. Well, you're not listening. You're on the phone there. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. This past weekend was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. We had a big celebration for them. And just to think, 50 years. That's just, most people can't do things for 50 seconds, let alone 50 years. And, here they are. They spent 50 years together, still going strong. And it's great. And wish them a happy anniversary and many, many more. So, Keith, what was new with you? Anything exciting this week? Keith, did Keith go AWOL too? Now I'm missing Gina and Keith.
No, I went to look out in the back to see if she was around.
She's watching.
So Gina is invisible.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are offering a reward for the location of my co-host. If you see my co-host, please call the studio and let us know.
And we have a multi-line system now. The phone number is 712 451 0758.
0758.
And your access code to get into our system is 660-8881. That's
608881. Rob, what's up, buddy? DJ Rob is in the house. We had a pretty good time with karaoke on Thursday night at Lansdowne with DJ Rob. I hear the cat. She was deported. Gina got deported. How did Gina get deported? Oh, my God. The cat's going nuts. I think she's out looking for Gina. And you can probably hear Keith yelling at the cat in the background.
The cat is going crazy. Callie is looking for Gina, and she cannot find her.
Mm-hmm. Trooper 1's out looking. Haven't called in the Coast Guard yet.
My cat is stressed out because Gina's not here.
I don't get it.
It's all her fault.
Maybe because Gina pays her attention? I don't know. She used to be Glenn's buddy.
Still is.
Well, yeah, but she didn't go nuts like that when Glenn wasn't here.
Oh, Callie's sad. Well, Melissa's on her way home. She should be home any minute. She can sit in with you.
Yeah, Gina's on her way. She'll be here.
Gina's late.
She's not late. She's fashionably delayed.
Well, you only get 2 points here at United FM.
She's fashionably delayed. She will be here. So the weirdest thing happened this past week. On, like I said, we had my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. And on Sunday night, I was talking with my brothers, and I mentioned how it would have been great if my grandmother was still alive and how she'd enjoy the whole celebration and everything. And then, just talking. Well, Monday morning, I was watching TV, and I got the caller ID, and all of a sudden, I looked again. My grandmother's phone number was on the caller ID.
I heard about that. That's pretty weird.
My grandmother died like over 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm looking at the number, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little freaked out. So I'm looking at the number, and I went out. I'm like, maybe they're going to leave a message. So I'm listening. The machine picked up, and I didn't hear anything. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not answering this. I'm not going to listen to it. So I called my parents, and I'm like, hey. And I said, Graham just called. My mom was like, Graham who? I'm like, Graham, as in Dad's mom. And she says, what the hell are you talking about? So I told her, I'm like, the number just came up on the freaking TV screen, 848-9887. And then it was like just quiet on the phone. So I took a screenshot of it. I sent it to my aunt, and she was just like, whoa. So went to listen to the voicemail, and there was nothing. So I said, that's a little weird. Later in the afternoon, my aunt texted me back. She goes, you should call that number. And I said, for what? She goes, call that number and see who answers. So I said, okay. So I call that number, and an Asian lady answers the phone. And I said, yeah, this is Jim. Somebody called my number earlier today. And she says, nobody called, nobody home. I'm like, no, not now, earlier in the day. She says, no, at work, nobody home. I'm like, so nobody was home at 11:45? And she's kind of getting mad. I was like, no, everybody at work, nobody call. So I said, okay. I was like, well, have a nice day. So then I hung up the phone. Okay, now I was really creeped. I'm like, all right, this lady's saying that nobody was home and nobody called from that number. Yet my grandmother's number shows up on the caller ID the night after we're all sitting there talking about her. A little freaky, if you ask me.
That is definitely pretty weird.
Yeah, it was. You know how you get where the hair on the back of your neck stands up and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I was there.
Wow.
It was pretty freaky.
Wow. That is pretty freaky.
I take it as a sign as she was there. I hear somebody knocking on the door.
What?
I hear somebody outside knocking on the door.
Front or back?
The door that we always come in.
Okay, hold on.
Could this finally be Gina? Wish. No, you can't hear a drum roll. I would do a drum roll, but I don't know. It could be Melissa. Could be Gina. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that was. And I mean, being a ghost hunter, it takes an absolute lot to freak me out. And ladies and gentlemen, Gina's in the building. It
Turn
does.
On your monitor.
It takes a lot to freak me out, and that definitely freaked me out.
You had to come over.
So we can now call off the shirt. Oh my god, the search. And Gina's in the house. Hey Ray, how are you? Hope everything's going good.
Where's my mic?
Oh, now we got to turn Gina's mic on. God, she wants everything today.
I know.
Hey Keith,
Yeah.
can you turn on Gina's mic?
No, she's late.
Wow, you should be on there.
There she is.
Hello. Woohoo!
Hey Gina,
Yay!
welcome.
So guess what?
What?
I have a broken tooth.
Oh,
You got a broken tooth?
Yeah. So I finally got relief from it, and I passed out. So here we are.
You know what they say about excuses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was listening on the way here because, obviously. I also heard Callie screaming. That poor girl.
She was missing you. She was sitting here going nuts
That
looking
poor
for
girl. Also, I don't really know how I cracked my tooth, but it's fine.
you. Well, that was going to be my next question.
I'm not sure. So I thought maybe I bit my tongue ring. But my tongue ring is like basically stationary.
I thought you swallowed your tongue ring.
I did. I got a new one. I waited because I swallowed it at work around like 5 o'clock and I didn't get out till 7. So I ran to the tattoo shop and they had to re-pierce it because it had slightly closed. So it was one of those living a...
Guy,
What?
sorry about the airplane noise in the background.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear an airplane noise either.
Yeah. I don't hear airplane noise either. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was listening to you about your grandmother calling.
Mm-hmm.
And I have something equally as freaky. So...
She called you too?
Yeah. It was weird. I was like, I don't even know this number. And I answered. She's like, hi, I'm Jim's grandmother. I'm like, oh boy. So, as everybody knows, all my listeners anyway know that my house is haunted.
Your listeners different than my listeners?
Yeah, like the people that know me.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
So the other night, my ex-fiance had brought our kids home, and I put everybody to bed except for my son because he has been taking longer naps, so he's not as tired in the evening as most others would be. Right. So I was like, oh, it's all right, quality time. So I put our youngest to bed, and my oldest went upstairs to go watch TV, and it was just him and I. And I'm sitting on the couch, and I was on my phone, and he was in the playroom. Now, my microphone is also really loud. There we go. I'm like piercing my own ears. So my dining room and living room are separated by a walkway and pillars. Mm-hmm. And I turned the dining room into the playroom because it's just me and the kids. So my tiny kitchen table can fit in the actual kitchen and still leave room for us to walk around. So I was sitting there and he came running from the playroom, like in hysterics, in tears. Mommy, help. So he like ran up on the couch and like clung around my neck and wouldn't let go, and I didn't understand what was wrong. And I'm like, buddy, what happened? What's wrong? And he said, Mama, there's a ghost. There's a ghost in the playroom. And he refused to get down. He refused to let go. So I picked him up and I put him on the floor and I grabbed his hand and he was like squeezing the blood out of it for a 2-year-old. It was pretty freaking tight. And he walked me into the playroom and was pointing to the corner where the pipe is. And he was like shaking, terrified, and like refused to go into the playroom. So I just put him to bed. I was like, all right, well, if you're terrified to be down here, I'll just put you to bed. So I put him to bed, thought nothing of it, picked up the playroom and everything. And about a week later, daycare had texted me while I was at work. So this was this past Friday when they texted me. And this was the beginning of last week. And she said, hey, so I understand, keep in mind my daycare provider, her girlfriend, and me are all best friends. Mm-hmm. So she texted me and she's like, hey, keep in mind, I understand your house is haunted, but please keep your ghost friends at your house. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, Luca won't stop talking about a ghost in the playroom. Now, obviously, being a daycare in a home, they have a playroom for their own. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no. He's talking about the ghost at our house. Apparently, it was in the playroom the other day. So a week later, he was still telling people that there was a ghost in his playroom. Terrified. How freaking crazy is that?
That is.
Yeah.
DJ Rob says he's got a couple of freaky stories. So let's hear him, Rob. What are your freaky stories?
And the multi-caller line is 712-451-0758.
Hey, Keith, do you perchance have that mobile charger?
I'm going to have to go digging for it.
I'm at 9%. Whoops.
What kind of phone is it?
iPhone.
I got to find the Apple thingy charger.
Yeah, I left my charger in the car.
So hold on.
Perfect.
Did you park in Waterford or did you park right up front?
I parked in Waterford.
Melissa's going to take my spot and make sure your levels stay normal. While
Perfect. Woohoo! I'm so excited Melissa's here. Where's Callie?
Out there.
Callie's still out looking for you.
Say hi to Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. Hello.
So...
Wow, today's one of those days again where we're just winging it. Oh, also, let's talk about Trump. He mocked the Me Too movement.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry, I'm not for or against Trump. Like,
here comes your.
Hi, Callie girl. Oh, princess, did you miss me?
Like a hemorrhoid.
Hi. I love you.
Oh my God. All right, in the next 10 minutes, we'll watch
Gina.
and Callie.
Kiss Callie.
All right, how did President Trump mock the Me Too movement?
All right, hold on. I'm going to pull it up so I can, like, actually word for word read it. So this was 4 days ago. I guess he... So he mocked the Me Too movement and riff on Elizabeth Warren's heritage during Montana rally. So CNN's report said President Donald Trump on Thursday mocked the Me Too movement as he repeatedly attacked Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren over her heritage, says Democratic Rep. Maxine Waters.
Oh my God, I'm not going to believe anything that Maxine Waters says, but I would rip on Elizabeth Warren too. Miss, she's Native American. No, she's not Native American.
Oh no, I know. Like, that's fine. But I was a little bit offended that he made light of the Me Too movement. So he basically said, we'll take that little kit and say, we have to do it gently because we are in the Me Too generation, and we will very gently take that kit, slowly toss it to her. Trump said, adding that he would offer $1 million to charity if she took the test and it shows you're an Indian. So basically he was just knocking on her heritage, but he dragged in the Me Too movement. I just thought it was relevant because last week that's what we talked about.
Right.
It's race.
Is she still claiming to be Native American?
Yes, of course she is.
I'll go take care of that myself.
And that's fine. Like, obviously I don't agree with her. I'm Indian, I'm not Indian. Mm-hmm. However, I don't really think bringing in the Me Too movement was the right, because he made a lot of people angry, was the right path to take. He's 72.
Who?
Donald Trump?
Yeah.
He doesn't even look 72.
It's plastic surgery does wonders.
So on
I
US
shouldn't say that. I don't know if he's had plastic surgery, but
on US Weekly or Us Weekly, I don't really know how it's pronounced.
U.S. Weekly.
But I like the magazine.
Us Weekly.
$2.99 on newsstands everywhere. So it says President Donald Trump took a controversial jab at the Me Too movement while insulting Senator Elizabeth Warren during a Montana rally, which obviously I agree with him insulting her because she's on again, off again Indian, which that's like me saying I'm a girl, now I'm not. On again, off again, but then again, there are different rallies for that too. So anyway, moving along. The 72-year-old commander-in-chief went after Warren for her Native American heritage on Thursday, offering to donate $1 million to a charity of her choice if she could prove her background. He also referred to the potential 2020 presidential candidate as Pocahontas again, and said he would make the politician submit to a DNA test if she ran against him. And he said, I'm going to get one of those little kits in the middle of the debate when she proclaims she's Indian of heritage because her mother said she has high cheekbones. That's her only evidence. I have high cheekbones. I actually am in love with my cheekbones. They're very defined, but I'm not Indian.
I have high cheekbones too, and I'm not Indian.
I know.
I'm actually German.
Yeah, I'm Italian, so I don't really know what high cheekbones have to do with anything. But
Well,
I just
it's been stated over and over and over again that Native Americans, we have high cheekbones, which, okay.
I can see it because a lot of Native Americans do have high cheekbones. Like Amber, for example,
She has
really high cheekbones, but so do I. So I don't think we should base it just off of that. So I think the quote that they were quote unquote victimized by was the whole, we will take that little kit, but we have to do it gently because we're in the Me Too generation. So we have to be very gentle. So I can see where it's a jab at it because he directly quoted, but at the same time, he didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything derogatory about Me Too.
No, and he didn't say anything about sexual assault or anything like that. He literally just said, we live in the Me Too movement. There was nothing, like you said, derogatory. So.
Yep. And before we continue anymore, just a reminder that Project Arrowhead is brought to you by the Mohegan Sun Big Three, Lansdowne, Avalon, and the Vista Nightclub. This Saturday at Lansdowne Pub, 10 o'clock. Wicked Peach.
I am quite offended by your status. Actually, it's
My
funny.
status?
Yes.
I was sending everybody out looking for you. Anyway, if you're looking for VIP services, get a hold of Chris Cody, and he will take care of your VIP needs. Now, I said it earlier in the show, and I had to say it again.
We do?
The-
Bet you it's Dave.
Before
You
we
have
go
a
to
caller.
before we go to the caller, the stuff that you divulged last week, having not told anybody, was absolutely. I mean, that took a lot of courage. That took a lot. And,
I wish you could have seen Keith's face as he stood on the other side.
I was.
And I
pretty
sat
much-
in your seat so I could, like, kind of see him. And he was just like, but you're right.
And I was listening to it too, and I was just like blown away. I'm like, wow. So, hats off to you. I mean, that took a lot of courage. And do you feel better?
I do. I'm actually
Awesome.
really glad that I shared it. And I'm really glad that I was able to get that story out. And even if, because I know a lot of my Facebook friends were listening. So I know a lot of, like Naomi, I know she heard it. I know Sam heard it. I know they were all here listening. But even for the people that I don't know were listening, people that I don't know who tune in on UnitedFMRadio.com, people that were listening on the Facebook page that I'm not friends with and I can't see,
Yep.
and who were just silent listeners, not commenting, not rooting me on like my friends were. I'm hoping that sharing the things that I did encourages anybody who's gone through it or anybody who's suffered from it to come forward. And like I said last week, even if it's just to come into my inbox and be like, hey, thank you for sharing that, or, this is what happened to me. Even if they're not ready to publicly share it, because like I said, it took me 7 years to do that. That happened in 2011, and now it's to the point where I'm okay with talking about it. And I would like to think that it is going to help, even if it just helps one person.
Right.
then I've done my job. So, I mean, it was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I was able to talk about it and get it out, and I think I'm further enough away from it, and I can look back and see that it wasn't my fault. It had nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. So now that I've matured and I've grown up and I have kids of my own. I mean, I had my oldest back then, but she wasn't even a year yet. She wasn't even 6 months. So now that they're getting older and the world that we're in, and I listen to the news and I watch, these Facebook videos of all of this stuff going on, I'm glad that I shared it. I'm glad that I was able to, even if, which a lot of people watch the video, but even if nobody heard it, it still felt good to say it out loud and get it out there. So,
right.
I mean, it did take a lot, and I'm very excited. So, we want to make a bet on who's the caller? I bet it's Dave.
Caller, you're on the air.
It's DJ Rob. Thank you very much.
Oh,
DJ Rob! What's going on?
I was wrong. Dave messaged me and said he might call, so I was really hoping. Sorry. Hello, DJ Rob. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. My original call was going over Jim's story with his grandmother. I might have an idea for you where that came from. But to touch on the Me Too movement thing you guys are talking about with Trump,
Yep.
I don't know if it was where or touched on because I lost contact with the show while calling in for a bit. But Trump's problem with Warren is that he used that 2% so-called American Indian heritage to gain a handle on jobs using affirmative action.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think everybody has a problem with it is who cares? She can run around and say she's whatever ethnicity she wants to say, but when you lie and use it to take a job away from somebody else, I think that's the problem Trump has.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, and I agree with that 100%. And, the only reason I brought it up is because last week's show was the Me Too movement. That's what I chose to talk about.
Right,
and
right.
It was just ironic that I was scrolling through Facebook and that popped up. And I was like, But I don't really think... See, everybody knows that the media likes to embellish things. So I don't really think that he touched down on it. I don't think he... said anything negative really about it. He involved it, but it wasn't nothing, like Jim said, derogatory towards her. So whatever, let him say it.
Right, I agree. But I was actually calling on the Jim's grandmother thing.
What do you got, bud?
One point, Jim, is you might want to check your brothers. Are they pranksters?
No, they were both at work.
Oh, they were, because you can get that app where you can call somebody and change your number.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe they were fooling around. But I had a weird circumstance like this happen. My mother died, not this past May, but the May before, of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very, very close to my mother. And I kind of had different beliefs in regards to the afterlife. So I was raised Catholic, but, you question a lot of stuff. So the day after she died, I had to go to the funeral home with my father to decide what to do. My mother was from Philadelphia, and she was at my house in Vermont. We had to look into transporting the body, the whole thing.
Right.
To make a long story short, I had to decide to cremate her, which she didn't want me to do.
Oh, my grandmother didn't want us to do that either.
I was very upset I was going against her wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home, and I was visibly shaken, and I walked to my back window. I have a bay window in my Vermont home that overlooks the river and woods and stuff. And out of nowhere, sunny, beautiful day, it rained for about literally 5 or 10 seconds, and I had a rainbow form right across my window. It wasn't like outside in a field. It was literally from one side of my window to the other.
That's cool.
And I knew at that point that was a sign from my mother that it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the other weird thing I had happen was on my mom's birthday at 12 midnight, I was in bed and my bedroom door slammed shut.
Wow.
So, weird things like that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being part of a paranormal group, we see stuff like this all the time. But when it actually happens to you, it kind of, I don't know, just freaks you out a little bit.
It's a little freaky.
And what's weird about it, guys, is that you don't know how to feel about it. Like, I wouldn't think my mother would harm me, but yet it still shook me up.
Oh yeah.
Like, scared me.
It's a natural instinct to be scared.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, I'll go.
entities
I'll let you
feed
guys
off of.
talk. I'll see you on Thursday at Lansdowne.
That's right. Lansdowne. At what time?
9:15.
9 o'clock at Lansdowne. DJ Rob will be spinning karaoke.
Woohoo!
All right, I'm switching back to Facebook.
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye.
So after after my grandmother passed away, I was laying in bed one night and I was laying on my stomach and my legs were bent like a 4. So like one foot was on the back of my kneecap, and I felt somebody sit on my bed and grab my leg, and it terrified me at first because I could visibly see that nobody was in my room, and it was just a very gentle indent of the bed. It was a very gentle touch on my leg, and then the hand moved off of my leg and the bed went back to normal. And I wholeheartedly believe that was my grandmother letting me know she was okay, because my grandmother's my best friend. So growing up, she always lived super close to us, whether it was the apartment next door or the apartment downstairs. She was always within 30 feet of us. And I spent, I want to say 80% of my time down there. And she would cook me rotini pasta, which we called squiggles. And to this day, we still call them squiggles. And we also call Parmesan cheese sprinkle cheese. So my kids are growing up calling it that. And I've never called it anything else. When I write it on the list, it's always sprinkle cheese and it's always squiggles. But she'd make me that. And then we would get the Neapolitan ice cream out and she'd put some in a bowl with sprinkles on it. And we'd always watch Everybody Loves Raymond or Touched by an Angel together. And we'd play board games. And she used to have me look for her ticklish spot on her foot. So I would sit for hours and like run my fingers on her feet to look for it. And she'd tell me, nope, you're not close. Not yet. Not yet. And I'd tell her to give me hints. And she'd tell me, no, that's cheating. So I would, keep trying. And then, after she passed away, my mom told me that she had no ticklish spot on her feet. That was just the way to get me to rub her feet. So now I do it with my daughter. I'll tell her to find my ticklish spot on my foot, and my feet aren't ticklish. So she'll sit there for hours using like feathers or hairbrushes or toys or books or blankets and try and find a way to tickle my feet. And it's just a way to get my feet rubbed. So, oh, it's so funny. The things that you like drag on from generation to generation. But I wholeheartedly believe, and like DJ Rob said, that in your heart, it's your loved one, but you also know that they're not going to harm you, but that doesn't stop that undeniable fear of terror, that whether it's, that it's actually happening or you're just afraid in general, it's still there. Because it was there with my grandmother, but I knew it was her. Deep down, I knew it was her, so I knew I wasn't going to be her. I knew, I didn't feel vulnerable laying on my stomach. I didn't, turn over really quick. I just let it happen. And it took all of like 15 seconds.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I had goosebumps. I was a little shook up, but, once it subsided, I was okay with it.
No, this isn't the first time that my grandmother has made her presence known. She was taken unexpectedly. She was killed in a car accident. They were on their way to Florida in a motorhome. It was her, my step-grandfather, my aunt, and at the time, my 1-year-old cousin. She was the only one killed in the accident, but my 1-year-old cousin was pretty messed up. He had a fractured femur, and he was in a body cast that came from like right below the nipple line all the way down both legs, secured in the middle.
Oh.
We flew down. We got him back from Maryland. And he was just in excruciating pain.
I can imagine.
So we were all standing up there. Now, my grandmother had a huge house. And we were in the room, and we were doing everything to try to get him to calm down. And I know it was me, my aunt, my uncle, pretty sure my parents, and my brother. And we're just sitting there in the room, standing around the bed. And all of a sudden, he loved Mickey Mouse. A Mickey Mouse balloon from the other end of the house, came down the hallway into the room, and then stopped directly over the top of him, and he stopped crying.
Oh.
And we were all just sitting there staring at it with our jaws wide open, and it worked. And then later that night, we were all sitting downstairs. I mean, we were all still upset and out of it, and this is only a few days after the accident. And we heard somebody walking around upstairs. And I made the comment to my uncle, I'm like, who's upstairs? When he looked around, he goes, shouldn't be anybody upstairs.
Wow.
And then he heard it. He heard somebody walking around upstairs. So him and I went up there to check, and there was nobody upstairs.
Get out.
But, yep, we heard clear footsteps upstairs. And when we went up and checked, there was nobody there.
That's nuts.
Snow says that signs get misinterpreted, and she just had that happen in her case in Woodstock. And, yeah, they can. They definitely can get misconstrued.
That's crazy. That is nuts. I like hearing these kind of stories. They blow my mind, but I absolutely love them. I guess I've always been intrigued by them, I guess. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, I was 8, and we were driving home from my mom's best friend's house, and she lives in Jewett City, I think. There's a haunted cemetery over there. Anyway, we were driving by, and I was looking out the window of my mom's Saab, and it was bright as day out. It wasn't sunset. It wasn't, morning time. There wasn't anything that could be misconstrued. It was bright out. And in the far back of the cemetery, there was a guy walking through the woods with a lantern, but I could see the tree behind him. I could see through him. And I remember freaking out, covering my eyes, and bawling my eyes out. My mom's like, "Oh my goodness, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And I had witnessed my first ghost. And I didn't know the cemetery was haunted. I had no idea.
Well, every cemetery is pretty much haunted.
And I had gone to my mom had dropped me off to my stepmom's house, and I was telling her about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that cemetery's haunted." And it kind of blew my mind and creeped me out. And I was like, So every time we drove by it, because we went through there often. My dad lived in Jewett City, so every time we drove by it, I would cover my eyes. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Did you? Never mind. I'll save that joke for later.
Wait, no, say it now.
All right. There was a priest. I forgot the priest's name, but he's standing there with Hillary Clinton. And looking out, I mean, there's thousands of people out there. And
he's ignoring you, Keith.
He says, the priest looks at Hillary Clinton, and he says, "It's amazing." She says, "What's that?" He says, "With one wave of my hand, I could bring this crowd to a standing ovation. And not only would it be with them today, it would remain in their heart forever, and they would be forever grateful." So Hillary Clinton looks at him and says, "Father, look, you're a nice guy and all, but that's a little bit of a tall tale." And the priest looks at her and says, "I'm telling you, one wave of the hand, I could bring this place to its feet, and it would be a monumental moment." She says, "All right, I dare you." The priest says, "No, I better not." So she says, "All right. I knew you were making it up, and it's okay, Father." Just then, the priest turns around, he backhands Hillary Clinton, and the crowd rose to its feet.
Yes. Yes. I liked that.
I forgot where I heard that one, but yeah, I was dying. I thought it was hilarious.
That is really funny. Poor Hillary.
Yeah, I really feel bad for her.
Have you ever obviously, I'm sure you've heard of it, but the zip line at Foxwoods.
Of course.
I'd never do that.
You would never do that? Or
No.
Nah, me either.
That's too terrifying for me. Every time I drive by it.
I think Melissa's got a question for you.
Oh, go ahead, Melissa.
That's good.
Okay. You were talking about experiences, correct?
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was probably, I don't know, about 23. And I had talked and I do mean every weekend, to my grandmother. Okay. And I was living in New Britain at the time. She lived in Southbridge, Massachusetts. Now, mind you, you know how far apart those are, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I was supposed to go to church because I went every weekend to church. I would go every Thursday, every Friday, every Saturday, and every Sunday. Well, Thursday had hit. I felt this weird feeling like I just didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. I thought, I'm probably just not feeling good. So I didn't go to church. The next day, I still had that weird feeling. I get a phone call from my mother that Saturday, and she goes, "Are you sitting down?" I says, "Well, I'm laying down. Why?" She goes, now mind you, I'm adopted. She goes, "Your biological mother just called me." I says, "What happened?" She goes, her mother just passed away." I was like, "What?" I said, "I just spoke to her last month, and she was fine." And I didn't want to go to church or anything. It was like this feeling came over me. I don't know what it was. And then I was living in Torrington at one time. I was trying to take a nap, and I heard somebody say, "Melissa." And there was nobody there.
What?
Yeah.
See, I love those kind of stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can't make this stuff up.
No. And that's the crazy thing, is you can't.
It was, like I said, when I was 22 or 23, it was like this weird, I don't know, like this weird tight feeling.
Yeah.
And I couldn't explain it. And people have told me, "Oh, well, that's your grandmother coming to visit you before she passed away." Because my mother had told me she was sick. Like, that's Callie. She's standing right next to me, crying. And she's like, oh, that's your grandmother. Because she was sick. And my real mother told me, well, she went to the hospital. She wasn't feeling good. Mind you, she was a diabetic. And she said, well, she wasn't feeling good. And next thing they know, that Friday, she passed away.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts. And I'm trying to prevent Callie from getting on the board.
Callie girl. You guys want to hear something really messed up?
What's that?
So when I was younger,
A couple years ago, yeah.
Yeah, a couple years ago. No, this was like pre-high school. So January 3rd, I want to say my meme passed away. I could have the people backwards, but that's not the point of the story. So January 3rd, somebody close to us passed away. I'm pretty sure it's my meme. So she had passed away, and a couple years later, on the 7th of January, one of my friends had died in a car accident, and I'd gone to his funeral in middle school. It was pretty sad. So from the 3rd to the 7th is 4 days. A couple years later, my grandmother passed away on the 12th of January. That's 5 days apart from the 7th. And the 7th is 4 days apart from the 3rd. So I had said to my mom, I have a really bad feeling. I'm pretty sure that on the 18th of January, somebody's going to pass away. So for a couple years had gone by and nothing happened. Okay, so it had to have been my meme. So the 3rd, my meme passed away the 2nd my cousin was born. So her time of death was his time of birth. Yep. So the 7th, 4 days later, we had my friend die in a car accident. The 12th, my grandmother passed away. And 6 days from the 12th is the 18th. And my mom's like, Jeannie, you're just thinking too deep into this. That's not how this works. So like 3 or 4 years after my grandmother passed away, I was laying in bed and I had gotten home from school. I did my homework and I went and took a nap. And my mom came in and she was like, Gina, your dad called. Uncle Ricky died of a heart attack. And now my Uncle Ricky had quit drinking, quit smoking, quit doing drugs. He was doing really well for himself. He was making money and stuff. And it just happened on the streets. He died in the streets of Taffel. And I was like, oh, that's really sad. I really wasn't close to my uncle. So it wasn't like this terror, struck me that, oh my God, I can't believe it. So I kind of rolled over and I was kind of groggy from waking up, and then I remembered it was the 18th of January.
Wow.
Yep. So that was 6 days after the 12th. The 12th is 5 days after the 7th, and the 7th is 4 days after the 3rd. So I was terrified. Terrified that... So the 18th, what's 8 days after that? I mean, 7 days after that.
25th.
Yeah. So a year later, January 25th, my aunt gave birth to her daughter. And that ended it. So I thought, until my aunt overdosed and passed away on the last day of January.
Wow.
Yep. Isn't that crazy? All in January, and it had a sequence. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I like predicted the future.
May is that way for me.
I was blown away. I'm like, somebody's gonna pass away on the 18th. And Mom's like, Gina, you're thinking too deep into it. A couple years later, she's like, oh, Uncle Ricky died. And I'm like, it's the 18th, Mom. Nuts.
Wow. And what did your mom say to that? She had to be convinced at that point.
She was stunned because I showed her the calendar. I'm like, Mom, look at it.
Had to be convinced.
She was like, wow, you're right. And my stepdad was like, whoa. We were all a little bit freaked out about it.
Yeah. Not to get off subject, but Antifa is planning on protesting Sturgis.
What and who?
Antifa.
What's that?
The anti-fascist movement, you know, the ones
Oh,
that
yep.
they're not brave enough to not cover their faces and everything.
Got it.
Are planning on protesting Sturgis. They're going to shut down Sturgis.
What's Sturgis?
That is the biggest motorcycle gathering in the country.
Grow up.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that one.
Same.
There will be no more Antifa.
No.
Bye-bye. See ya.
That's so funny. They really wouldn't. So when I was little, I could see ghosts. That's pretty bizarre.
Well, you know what? It's...
Kids are more in tune to that.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, oh, it's kids, blah, blah, blah. A lot of kids can see things that adults can't see.
That's why I utterly believe Lucas saw something the other night.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
And I was not about to ignore it and be like, oh, Luca, you're fine. No, I believe in that stuff. And if you see something and it is terrifying you, then let's go to bed. I'll lay with you and watch cartoons. And half an hour later, he had forgotten about it. He was over it. But when I was little, we moved to Virginia for 6 months. And down there, my Nana and Papa, they had a couple that were friends. And after we'd moved back up, my mom would hear me in the living room talking to somebody.
Yep.
And she just assumed it was an imaginary friend because obviously we all know I can talk. So I will talk at anything. So she just kind of like brushed it off and let me just do my thing. And one day she asked me who I was talking to and asked me, I was 2 years old, asked me to describe them. Mm-hmm. And I told her he was wearing a suit. He was, he had a cane. He was wearing glasses and he was black. At that age, kids don't really know the difference between black and white as far as people go.
Right.
They don't look at them as different. Like, obviously, when kids are older, they understand. Like, Rain understands.
Yeah, it's like a shadowy figure. So.
Right. Rain understands the difference between an African American and a white person. She knows that we are different. But when she was younger, she didn't. We were all people. Mm-hmm. So my mom, I guess, got in contact with my Nana and Papa, and their friends that we'd see, that couple, the husband actually passed away. And my mom showed me a picture, and I was like, that's him. So his ghost was visiting me. And I described him literally perfectly, to a T. What he wore, his cane, his glasses, what he looked like. And when she pulled the picture out, I told her that was him. I was like, that's him, Mom.
One of the most, I guess you could say, active cases that we did was in Mottville. And we were in the room. We had video going, audio going. And we were sitting there and we were trying to make contact with whatever was in there. And all of a sudden, this kid's toy started up and started playing. Well,
That happens in my house all the time. I ignore it.
It was off.
Yeah. I turn all of my kids off.
There was no way this thing should have started playing.
Yep.
And
Been there, done that.
we got it all on video, and yeah, it was interesting. It was a good time.
Been there, done that. My toy, like, there are times when I will be sitting in the living room watching TV, and it will go off. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I turned it off. You go over, and the button's on off. And now it's just like, I feel like whatever's in my house is just trying to get my attention. Because it hasn't done anything malicious. I mean, I've been scratched once. There's a picture on my Facebook of the scratch marks. But that was when I was pregnant. I don't understand where it came from. I don't know. I don't think it was whatever's in the house, that, on a regular basis. But I've had doors shut. I've had my faucet turn on. I've had toys turn on. I've had, I had a water bottle. When we let the babies out in the kitchen, like before we eat and everything, they play with whatever's in there. And I had a 24-pack of water on the floor with a hole in the middle and just a couple taken out. So Luca had gone over and took one out, and he put it on the floor, standing up right next to it. And me and my friend Jerry were standing in the kitchen, just talking after dinner and everything. We never picked up the water bottle because it wasn't in our way. And we're standing there talking, and the water bottle tipped over, landed on its side, rolled across the floor, and then stopped moving. And we just looked at each other. And I was like, I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen. So we continued talking and whatever. Some time went by, and I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So I got up. I went upstairs. I came back downstairs, and he was like in shock again because the water bottle continued to roll and then stopped again. So like little things like that happen all the time, and I'm not like that. It doesn't terrify me. I'm not afraid of it. It doesn't. I mean, it creeps me out at first. Like, did that really just happen? But nothing I think in my house is out to get me, so to speak. Because nothing, I mean, my kids, other than Luca saying he sees a ghost, nobody in my house has really acknowledged anything, my oldest especially. She's not terrified to walk to the bathroom at night. She's not, hearing things or seeing things. But I welcome it, whatever. If you want to, your rent's due first of the month. I don't know. I have no idea.
Naomi says that toys would go off all the time at her house here in Connecticut, and their first house in Virginia hasn't happened
since they moved to the condo, probably. Yeah, their house in Connecticut was old and it was really pretty, but I could it gave that vibe off. Like when you went inside, I would definitely picture things happening there.
Beck still talks about the old man ghost in our old house, and she also says she hasn't seen him here yet. Well, hopefully.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sometimes they're attached to the physical house. So hopefully that's the case, that they're attached to that house, and they won't be following you there.
I hope so. Well, because she lived up here, and then I think what she's saying is when she moved down to Virginia in their house that they built,
yep.
I think it followed them. Because Bex probably saw it down there, and then now they're in a condo. Mm-hmm. So they've lived in 3 separate places, and I think Bex has, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think Bex has seen it in the condo that they're in now, which is good, especially if I wouldn't be too happy if it was following them or her anyway, Bex. That wouldn't be cool. Because I know
all participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
Keith, what was that?
It's the phone system. Don't worry about it.
So we're not muted?
No.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
I didn't know what the hell that was.
I didn't either. I thought we were calling Kellogg's again. That was a good time. But like...
That's Keith.
Keith, what are we doing right now? Are we calling somebody?
Naomi says correct, not at their current place.
Okay, so it followed them down to Virginia into their new house, and then
and a lot of times it could be attached to an object. I'm
sure they downsized when they moved.
Yeah,
this computer's so slow. Frozen now.
It could be anything. It really could.
Well, it's so funny. I mean, it's not funny. Like, you obviously watch those paranormal shows, and they're so elaborate about things, and they're over the top, and oh my gosh. Like, I was watching Paranormal Survivor on...
Ratings.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say, is I was watching Paranormal Survivor on Netflix. They put it on their first 2 seasons.
Yep.
And some of the stories they tell, I just roll my eyes. Some of them I believe, like it was on an ancient burial ground and there was a lot of activity that was happening, and I believe that. But like the ones where, we were yanked across the room and this angel of death came and it was glowing and it was walking across the room and then they fought, and I'm like, okay, all right, moving along.
I can honestly say I've been a paranormal investigator for a little bit now, and other than maybe a few objects being moved, I have not seen anybody get yanked across a room.
Ain't no paranormal activity.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
No, me either. But the elaborate stories that they tell.
Training with Lorraine and Lorraine Warren's son-in-law, Tony, and hearing some of their cases and the actual recordings, it could definitely happen. So.
I was going to say, if you were curious, it's October 7th of 2018, but the date's they put the 10th of July on my computer screen. I was really confused. I'm like, it's spooky time? What a good time to talk about this.
Right.
I'm okay with paranormal activity happening, and I'm okay with talking about it, and I love talking about it, and it's intriguing to hear everybody's story. Oh, I'm yawning. Boring. It's only because I haven't really slept for my freaking tooth. I don't really know what happened.
They gave you some good pain meds. It knocked you on your butt, and that's it.
Or I just took enough over the counter to ease the pain, and I passed out. I crashed.
Yeah, that'll work too.
I was like, yes, sleep. And then I didn't even hear my phone ring twice when you called me.
Wow.
I know. And then you left a voicemail and it wouldn't transcribe it, so I deleted it. I had another ghost story, but I don't remember what it was. Obviously, it was irrelevant.
Can you not remember what it was?
Because I have so many. Do you like my shirt?
Wonder Woman.
Woohoo! I have a Wonder Woman shirt on, and I bought it 3 years ago for 4th of July. And I just found it again today. And I was like, did
you see this picture right here?
What one?
Shows the girls all as little kids on the beach. Then as they grew up, and then as they really grew up.
Oh my goodness. Get out of town. I have a lot of friends on Facebook. 1,105.
Wow.
I'm a popular person, I guess.
All right, so I gotta ask, what was with the topless photo the other day?
The topless photo?
Yeah.
Oh, my tan lines. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yep. My tan line, because my back tan line isn't so good. And you can't really take a picture of your tan line here on your hips without being too raunchy. So I just covered my nipple. And even though I'm all for the Free the Nipple Act.
Free the tatas.
Free the tatas. I'm all for it. But it was just for my tan lines. And yeah, I went to this place the other day on Sunday called the Pavilion. It's in Old Lyme.
Yep.
We went there and I hung out with my friends and we played volleyball and drank and listened to a live band, and it was just a fantastic time. We had so much fun, but I got in the shower and I could tell my shoulders were kind of burnt, even though they didn't look it because the water hurt my shoulders. I was like, God. But it was absolutely worth it for the view we had. It was just so pretty there. I mean, it was packed. Obviously, it was a Sunday, so everybody and their mother's there. But overall, it was a really good time. I can't wait to go back again. I'm probably going to go in 2 weeks again. On the weekend that I don't have the kids. Probably on a Saturday, though, so I don't have to rush home.
Rob says he DJs there, too.
He does? Oh my goodness, it's great. It was fantastic. But the people that were there were a live band, but they were really good. They did a fantastic job. And I actually met a girl there. Her name was Jess, and we share the same birthday.
Wow.
Because they were talking about how there's a volleyball tournament on August 18th. I was like, oh my gosh, it's my birthday. And she looked at me and she goes, no, that's my birthday. So then she was like, what year were you born? So I told her, and she was like, all right, it was your birthday first. So it was just the ongoing joke. She'd walk by me and she'd be like, it's my day. Can be both of our days. So they're doing the volleyball tournament on, I'm pretty sure it's for epilepsy awareness. So I guess it's there. I don't know. It could be somewhere else. I'm not really sure. But I know my friend James O'Grady, he does JPO Productions. Mm-hmm. He hosts a volleyball tournament, but I don't know if it's the same one. I'll have to ask him, because if it is, then I'll know all the details and spread the awareness and stuff. So my parents are in Florida, so they're probably not listening to the show.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
I'm sad.
I was going to ask you where they were.
I miss my mom. So every year she has to go down to Florida for mandatory training for her job.
Yeah.
But it's like a mini vacation for them.
Right?
Because they go down there. It's only 14 hours of mandatory training, but they stay down there for the week.
DJ Rob says you need to come to Sunset Ribs.
Everybody says that. Everybody tells me I need to go to Sunset Ribs. I've literally never been, and I've heard the food's fantastic.
Or you can just come see him at Lansdowne on Thursday night, starting at 9 o'clock.
Not 9:15, not 9:01, not 9:30, not 9:45. Melissa says
this 92-year-old man that got beaten with a brick.
No.
Yeah, so he walks around his neighborhood every day, usually with his wife. On the 4th of July, he was beaten by a woman after he bumped into her toddler on the sidewalk just a few feet from his house. Once he was on the ground, a group of men started kicking him until a bystander saw what happened and called 911.
What?
The female attacker told Rodriguez, a legal U.S. resident, to go back to his own country.
Get out.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
92 years old.
Did you see this woman getting harassed for wearing a Puerto Rico shirt
Yeah.
by an old man?
I think I was an idiot.
You can wear whatever you want, honestly. Okay, first of all, let's back up this fun bus, because I'm pretty sure Puerto Rico is now part of the United States.
Yep. And that's what she tried to explain to him, and he's like, no, it's not.
So, I'm still a little offended that Pluto's not a planet anymore, so I get where this guy's coming from. However, you can't change the facts. Pluto ain't a planet, and Puerto Rico's part of the United States, so get over it. That's it. Whether you like it or not. I still consider Pluto a planet, so, okay, whatever, but that's different. That's apples and oranges.
Right? Well,
So-
what really gets me is the Democrats tried to use this and flip it around and manipulate it to make it out to be Trump's fault. That Trump's rhetoric got this group of white, make America great again people to come and attack this poor man, 92-year-old man that was out, just out for a walk. Well, apparently they didn't really do their homework enough or look into it enough.
Right.
Because it was a group of African-American teens or whatever that attacked them. And that blew their whole Donald Trump rhetoric right out the window.
Wow, sucks to suck, huh?
And then, yes, Carlos. I'll give you Carlos, Rob.
What?
Yes, Carlos is one of my managers. So when I told him to be there at 9, not 9:15, not 9:30, he said, yes, Carlos.
I went to Avalon on this past Friday.
I saw you.
And I obviously went to Vista for a while. Because I can't not go see Billy.
Yep.
So I hung out with Billy and one of the bartenders, Ashley, for a little bit. And, I mean,
I don't think I know Ashley.
she is amazing. I love her to death.
Did you see Clarky? Jeff?
Of course.
Okay.
I went and found him first. I'm like, excuse me, I love you, but where's Billy? Actually, we talked about a couple of the bouncers not being there anymore. Josh being one of them.
Yeah, Josh left.
Jesse's not there anymore. And I'm like, excuse me, how am I going to cut the line now? And he's
Julian's
like,
still there.
he's like, you just come find me, and I will tell them to let you in. And I was like, oh, okay. But Joe's still there.
Who?
Joe. He's a scrawny guy, and he knows me. And he's always like, oh, you guys going in? You're just hanging out. I'm like, going in.
Yeah, and Julian's there, and Steve's there, and
I don't know them.
They'll take care of you.
There's 2 new bouncers at the front, though.
That might be Julian.
I think so. So he doesn't really know who I am, but he hand stamped me, so I went inside anyway. But Ashley's so funny. She was working on the back, like in the back corner, so she was just running to tables and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see you. That means I can sit here and talk for a few minutes. I'm like, yes, you can. Yeah, but I hung out there for a little bit, and then we left and went to Avalon. It wasn't actually that bad. I'm not really a fan of Avalon, just because I hate, like, the next day, the whole day, I was so dizzy and disoriented because I can't really do strobe lights. Oh, yeah. So I didn't stay there super long, but I was there for a good chunk of my time.
Yeah.
But it was a nice time. The 2 DJs, obviously my friend DJ J Smith, and he had somebody else with him, and they were just alternating. So, like, I was able to hang out with him for a little bit, and it was a really nice time. Definitely not my style, but I'll go to support people, so.
Yeah, it was pretty slow.
I know. I came and visited you too, and it was really quiet.
Yep. Yeah.
And Avalon was not as packed as it usually is.
Nah, it was a very slow weekend.
I could actually breathe on the dance floor and walk.
Right.
There, it wasn't body to body, but it was. I mean, we had fun. I didn't pay for a drink at all that night.
Oh no.
No.
Very nice. Now, who's that was with you?
That's my friend Bobby. We actually share the same birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He was awful quiet.
Well, that's just because he didn't know you. But and then I may or may not remember going to Johnny Rockets.
Really?
I subjected him.
Johnny Rockets.
I was like, I just need cheese fries. And then he got a burger, and I ate some of that too.
Wow.
And then I was good to go. But not really. I made him drive. Because I'm responsible.
Joe Smith is at Sunset Ribs with Rob on the 21st.
What day is that? Is that a weekend?
It's a Saturday.
It is, and it's not my weekend with the kids, which means, guess what? I'll be there.
Oh, you're in trouble now.
Woo!
You are in trouble.
Yep. In trouble. I'm going to be there. 21st. Showing up. I don't think I have anything going on the 21st, other than probably sleep.
Yeah, what's that?
What's happening on at Sunset Ribs, though? Is it like a themed thing, or is it...
I don't know. Rob, is it a theme thing, or is it just regular
night?
Regular night.
Because I am all about this.
I don't know. He's not answering.
Rude.
He'll answer like a half hour after we was supposed to answer. Oh, there we go.
He'll be we'll be shutting the show down.
So if you know anybody who wants to show up and sing karaoke, Thursday night at Lansdowne.
Always love me a good time with karaoke, even though I don't sing. I just like to watch people do it. So, there's that.
Fireworks. It's East Lyme Day.
I don't know what that means, but all right. Oh, what did Sarah say? Oh, that was 25 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. Sarah said something about zipping something. Oh, they got a zip line in Ocala, I think she said.
Oh, hi, Sarah.
It's great as long as you're not afraid of heights.
Miss you.
Sarah, you're awful quiet again.
I know. She hasn't called us in a long time.
I know. Dave Phillips, one of the other investigators, was supposed to call today.
Yeah.
He hasn't called yet.
He messaged me and asked what the topic was, and he's probably going to call in. And I was like, oh, okay.
He's doing some whatchamadingers down there. Some history.
Oh, is he still in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Good for him.
Yep. And in a couple weeks, I will be in Virginia.
In a couple weeks, I'll still be home. In other news, That's it. I don't really have any news.
No news.
I have a killer headache. That's a thing.
They close East Lyme down all day and have a carnival. Now that must be exciting. You get like 5 people.
You're about to catch me on all the rides. By myself.
And
Actually, maybe I'll subject DJ Rob or whatever his name is.
ends with fireworks at the Ribs over the bay. That is July 21st. I don't know. I won't be there.
Is it cooler in here today?
It is. It is cooler in here.
It was cooler last week, too, because Keith got a different AC for in here. But you weren't here, so you couldn't feel it.
Don't forget about the fireworks on the 14th.
Don't forget about the fireworks on the 14th.
What fireworks on the 14th?
Sailfest!
Oh.
Duh. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go.
Sailfest. If you're in the New England area, Sailfest is on the 14th for the big Groton New London fireworks. That'll be a dead day at work because everybody will be out.
We'll be
at the
down there.
fireworks.
Yeah. I have my kids all this weekend, and they're so I lit off fireworks for them for the 4th of July.
Did you?
Yep, on Wednesday night. Just those little tiny, like cheap, buy them at Walmart, $19.95 package. And my son was terrified of them. Cried, covered his mouth, ran inside. He ended up going inside for over half of them. He went inside and ate cookies instead of watching the fireworks, which, to be completely honest, I would have rather been eating cookies instead of lighting them off and burning my fingers. But it's fine. It's fine. My 1-year-old, my youngest, was just sitting there on the stoop, leaning forward, looking at them. Even if they were crackling and going all over the place, she was just staring. My oldest, every time they'd get really big and crackle, she'd get up and run. And then my middle boy, he was just crying in the house.
Oh.
But not my youngest. She was intrigued, leaning in and everything. I'm like, Tootie, you're going to burn your face. Just lean back a little bit. Lean back. You can't, just don't do that.
Lean back.
Oh, yeah.
Lean back.
This is a rock and metal station, so...
No, it's also being broadcast on Jams.
Oh, so we can sing that.
Yeah.
Woo! Keith, your computer's very slow. How am I supposed to broadcast myself?
I don't know. If one of you got videos running in the background, it's going to
No.
give our video broadcast priority.
Nope. Nope.
Oops. So, what was I just going to say?
I don't know, but we got to figure out
My head hurts so bad.
what our topic for next week's going to be.
Jesus. Okay, I feel like we're just winging it the past couple weeks.
Well, this week we're winging it. Last week
I did pretty good.
you had the Me Too movement that wasn't winging it.
But it wasn't until 5 minutes before I walked in. And someone commented and was like, hey, me too. And I was like, oh my gosh, me too. All right, let's do it. Next week, we should talk about... Don't look at me like that, Keith. We should talk about... I don't know. This is difficult. I feel like I have a lot to talk about, but I have nothing to think about here. I feel like our viewers should start, like, giving us ideas here.
Yes.
And participating.
Yeah. I mean, call in.
Sarah. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Matt. I'm on the radio. You're live on the radio. Yay!
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Who are we talking to on the...
We're talking to my friend Matt, and he's from Massachusetts, and he's calling me in the middle of our radio show.
Oh, so you put him on the air.
Yeah, I did. He's on the air.
All right.
Nothing. Are you excited?
I guess so. I did not expect this, but okay.
Well, I do a radio show every Tuesday.
Well, I was more curious as to how you supposedly broke your tooth.
I don't know how I broke my tooth. I really don't. I was eating a bagel, and it hurt, and now it's broken.
We'll see that he must be listening to the show because he knows you broke your tooth.
Stick the speaker right up to the microphone.
It is.
Wow.
No, he knows I broke my tooth because I was just messaging him on Facebook Messenger while I was multitasking and talking about nothing.
And there's Dave. Dave is watching. Hey, Dave. I hope your vacation is going great.
Do you want me to call you back after the show?
You can either call me back after the show, or if you really want to keep me on the show, you want to talk about stuff. I don't care.
Well, nobody can really hear you. So if you want to call the studio line, I'll message it to you.
No, we can hear him.
We can?
He can't hear us.
We can hear you.
Oh, great.
Message him the studio number so we can have him patched in directly.
Okay. Hold on. Matt, I'm sending you a number, and you're going to call it. Hold on. 860...
Dave is calling in. All right, here we go. I knew he'd be
Just
coming.
kidding. Matt, I'll call you back after the show. Love you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Dave is calling in.
one of our other lead investigators, Dave Phillips, is calling in.
Someone sent me a friend request, and I have no mutual friends with them. Delete.
Delete.
And they had a name I couldn't pronounce, so
Maybe they just listened to the...
I doubt it. I've been accepting people because I thought they listened to the radio show, and they're just creepy. So I've been deleting them.
People still trying to hit you up for drinks?
Yes.
You said the person that was trying to hit you up for drinks was married?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a scumbag. I almost said something else, but...
We're live on the air with United FM Radio. Yeah, yep, and he was
Dave,
married.
don't forget there's a new call-in number.
He's probably calling the old number and using it. It's 860... Oh, no, it's not. 712-451-0758.
And then code 608881.
Wow, Keith, you made us really...
608881, because it's a multi-line system.
You definitely made that difficult for all our callers. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So now nobody's going to call us.
Yeah.
Dave is just going to be like, yeah, okay, never mind.
You dial the phone number. When it prompts you for the code, you enter it. It's not that hard.
So for all you guys that don't know, Gina's had this creep that has been texting her, trying to get him to go out for drinks with her. And this guy is apparently married.
Yep. And so I put him on Facebook and blasted him because that's what I do best. So,
Wow.
everybody who's listening, let's keep that in mind. If you choose to message me and say some pretty raunchy things or things that are out of line, I will screenshot our conversation and I will put it so that all 1,150 of my friends can see it. You're welcome.
And then I'll share it so that all 2,000 of my friends can see it.
Yep, and Melissa's shaking her head yes, so she'll share it. I'm going to make it public so that everybody can see it and everybody can share it.
So you've had two people trying to get you to go have drinks with them.
Oh, I've had way more than that, but these ones are like the super creepy ones.
The ones that are married.
Yeah, these are like super creepy.
Wow.
I know, because you're married. And that being said, you're married. So at the end of the day, you're married. And I don't do that at all. I don't even like going out for drinks on a daily basis with anybody who's not married. I would much rather be home with my cats and
All right,
sleeping.
Dave, it is 712-451-0758. And then when you call in, you push 608881.
Do, 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 do.
There it is, right underneath your post.
I've only posted it like 500 times.
Hey, pipe down over there.
Yeah. Listen here, God. Be quiet.
Tell that guy with the muffler to be quiet.
We can hear you more than we can hear him. He doesn't have a microphone.
Oh, look at that.
But
Okay,
This fidget spinner.
we have a caller.
oh my gosh, who do you think it is?
My money's on Dave.
I'm going to say Sarah.
You were wrong last time.
Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Stopped raining down here, but it's still 90 degrees.
That's one thing about Florida. It was always those showers can pop up out of anywhere, and man, when they went through, it was twice as hot afterwards.
When we were in Disney World,
Oh, it's crazy.
We went
it
to
rains
Disney World.
every day in between 4:30 and 6:30.
every day. We went to Disney World and we were in Animal Kingdom and people looked at us like we were crazy because it started to downpour and we were standing in the middle of the park while everybody's under the shelter getting drenched because we were so hot. Everybody's like, oh, they're probably not from here. No, we're not. And we're hot. And then it stopped raining and it was 12 times hotter. It's like I'm going home. I'm too pregnant for this.
So how's your
Yeah,
vacation
it was
going?
96 today.
Nope,
Oh,
no.
it's going awesome.
96?
Yeah, after it rained, it cooled down to about 9.
Oh, well, okay then. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't
Well,
like
that means
it.
we sleep with sweaters tonight.
Yeah, right. So what have you been up to down there?
We're just chilling out. We went to the aquarium in, where was it? It was a moat aquarium. I can't remember where it was. It was like 2 hours away from here.
Yep.
And I visited the Skunk Ape headquarters, which was awesome.
Yeah, saw that. Now you were going to.
That's about it.
Were you going to do some paranormal stuff down there, or did you just not have time?
Yeah, I'm looking into that. I am right now in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, and you have service?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm proud.
Must be Verizon.
We seriously are 45 minutes away from, like, Walmart.
Wow. Where are you?
And we're like a half hour. I'm in Naples, almost South Naples.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You're in Italy? No kidding. Ha ha ha.
my godfather used to live in Naples, so yeah, you're right. There's like nothing there. A lot of rich.
It's nothing, but it's awesome. It's beautiful down here.
Yeah, a lot of rich people, but there's nothing there. You got to drive up to Tampa, or Fort Myers is actually closer.
Yep.
I love Florida.
Yeah, we were in
from a distance.
Tampa yesterday. It's like a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah. Hey, see, Mom's checking in.
My mom?
She's down in Florida
Mom!
too.
Hi, Mom. I love you. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. My
So
mom's in
what's left
Florida.
for the rest of the vacation, brother?
I got another 2 weeks, and I'm gonna hit a bunch of historical societies, and then I'm gonna look around to see if we got any ghost hunting groups down here that I can hook up with for a couple days.
Nice.
Use protection.
Not that kind of hookup. Oh my
Did she
god.
just tell me to use protection?
Yeah, she did. I have to. I'll describe. I'll explain hooking up to her later on.
I know what it means. I was being funny.
So that's pretty cool, man. That's a pretty long vacation. I wish I had a vacation.
All the people
that
we
long.
love are in Florida. My
Right.
mom, my dad,
Yeah, I'm not
Sarah,
gonna wanna come
Dave.
back.
You're not going to come back?
I don't want to come back.
Oh, don't do that. You made me nervous.
Well, everybody says that after.
I heard it was pretty hot up there, though. Too. It's about as hot as it is down here up in Connecticut.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Obviously, I haven't said it once this whole show.
I have 2 of my kids driving around the yard in a golf cart,
Heck yes.
playing NASCAR around the yard.
Oh, now we need some banjo music.
Dude, you got golf carts?
I want a golf cart.
Yeah, we've got a golf cart. We have 3 acres down here.
Wow.
What?
And the way the neighborhood's set up, it's a grid. It's 26 miles, and there's a road going down the middle of it, and each road is 3 miles apart, 1 mile long, and they all lead to a basin where the alligators are.
Nice. How many
So it's
times
like a
you been
giant
down
grid.
with how many times you been down with the Gators?
I've seen a lot of gators in the last week I've been down here.
No, thank you. They eat children in Florida, you know.
Yeah, I have 6 of them that I can feed them.
Oh, well.
Your mom says she'll ride one back for you.
I'm not going to hold my breath because she won't get on an airplane, so I can't see her riding an alligator.
Hell, you never know.
Oh! She's talking about the golf cart, not the alligator.
Oh.
Mama's not riding an alligator.
Okay. All right. She's talking about the golf cart.
Oh,
Oof.
it's a little delayed, I guess. I'm like, yo, she is definitely not about to ride an alligator.
Hey, just let the kids know they can.
I don't know. I think I'd rather see somebody ride an alligator than a golf cart.
Same.
Right? I don't think your kids can bring them back. Just let them know that they're not allowed to come back to here.
Well, see, I'm flying back. They're driving back, and we have the stow and go brand new van, so we can just hide a gator in the stow and go.
Right? So they're driving back and you're flying back?
Yeah, they're coming back after I am,
Right. You got to go back to work?
because I actually have to go back to work.
Wow, so I realized I'm watching the comments, but in our view on the camera, that did not look appropriate, so I'm going to sit back up. So, for For everybody watching, I was just looking to see when my mother was in a comment, and so that's a thing.
That's what she said.
That is definitely what she said. Wow. Okay.
Dave, can you see us?
No, I'm on my phone, so I can't see you.
Okay, good, because Gina was just leaning over looking at the comments on my phone, and it looked like something else, so...
It was very inappropriate, so we're just not gonna do that again. Next time I'm gonna bring a fully charged phone.
Watch that now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great.
Why is Jim smiling like that?
Why is Gina bent over there? That is fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, but...
Hey, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get back to dinner.
Ooh, enjoy. What are you eating, alligator?
No, hot dog and hamburger night.
Oh.
I did have alligator. It was like chicken nugget alligator, and it was way too greasy. I didn't like it.
Ew.
See, it's cooked like that. I had alligator cooked on the grill, and it was really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten any other animals?
It was...
Like a squirrel or something?
I've never eaten a squirrel.
And it was
my cousins hunt squirrels and eat them. I don't know. I was just asking. Isn't that weird?
This was on the Indian reservation over towards Miami, and I think they cooked them like that, and I just couldn't eat it.
Wow.
Ew.
Yeah, like I said, when I had it, they skinned it and cooked it right on the grill, and it was pretty good. And it honest to God did taste like chicken. It really did. Your mom's laughing.
Mom, wait till you come back. I'll fight you.
All right, guys. Have a good night. I will talk to you guys later.
Bye, Dave. Thanks
All
for
right,
calling.
buddy. Hey, if I don't talk to you, have a safe trip back.
Same.
All right, thanks. Talk to you later.
Take
Bye.
care, Dave. That was Dave Phillips, one of our lead investigators for ArrowHead Paranormal.
Yep. Well, that was an interesting show.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping my girlfriend would have called in or tuned in. Or she's awesome.
What's her name?
CJ.
Oh. I want to meet her.
Absolutely, one of these days.
I already love her.
So do I.
I love Melissa, and I didn't even know her. I was like, oh, I love Melissa. We're going to bond over her cat.
Your mom says, not. Apparently about fighting her.
All right, oldie locks. I can only say these things because she's in Florida and she'll forget.
Wow. I'll tell you what, you posted that picture of her from high school. I was like, holy hotness.
Yeah, your brother was trying that too.
What?
Your brother was like, what'd he say?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. He said something and I was like, she's married. And he said, oh, well, worth a shot or something like that.
Sisters, I'm telling you. You guys.
Identical.
Absolutely.
Someone just commented and said to me, on one of my other pictures, they were like, you look identical to your mom. And I was like, you're right, I do. Let me go find her picture from her senior year. And I found it, and I kid you not, we look literally identical. I'll tell you exactly what your brother said. I found the picture. Hold on.
Your mom says she won't
please.
Forget. You're in trouble. You are so in trouble.
Next. Your brother, oh my God.
Yeah, you'll get used to ask Amber about him.
Amber commented.
Yeah, did she?
He said, yes, please, with a winky face and the heart eye emojis.
Oh, yeah, yep.
So I commented and said, she's married, and he said, damn. I said, nice, and Amber said, nice try, though, Steve. and Sarah said, Steve over here trying to become your new daddy. And your brother said, did you see the picture, Sarah? And Sarah said, duh, they're both gorgeous, but the one on the right, hashtag huge crush, hashtag someone needs to wife that, meaning me. Yep. And Steve said, thought you had that in the bag already. And then he said, besides, I think hashtag huge crush goes for anyone who knows her, and hashtag someone needs to wife that is probably also everyone's goal that knows her. And I was like, oh, that turned nice real quick, but you're not about to be my dad. Love you, no thank you. Oh, well, that was...
Things just turned weird here at Project ArrowHead.
He's like, I didn't screenshot him.
Yeah, right?
No.
So, to all you married guys who keep trying to get Gina to go out with you...
No! I'm going to start getting a buzzer. And when someone messages me, I'm just going to video chat them and push the button, and it's going to go... Wrong
In the
answer.
words of the not late, but of the great Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, don't say late. He's not dead. Oh, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna send them Steve Austin gift.
Ain't gonna happen, you silly little bastard. I'm gonna open a can of. Never mind. Stop right there.
Anyway, so next week's show is another Wing It, unless in the next 6 days
we are going to come up with something for next week. Thanks.
It's going to be really interesting, and all you listeners are going to want to tune in. And if you don't tune in, you're going to be really sad you didn't. Gotta hype them up.
Yeah, that's right.
Woo!
Next week, we're going to talk about the life of a porn star. What happens after the porn is over? No, I just saw that on somewhere else.
I mean, we could talk about that, but I don't think that would be a very long segment to last the whole hour and a half.
Well, if I get some of my porn star friends on, we could.
Do you have porn star friends?
Yes.
So I grew up with before this is gonna be the last thing we say. I grew up with somebody who ended up turning out to be a gay porn star for money, even though he's not gay. And I saw the pics in the video, and me and my mother gagged.
Is it a guy or a girl?
It's a guy.
Ugh.
It burned my eyes. I can't ever unsee that.
So he just did it for money?
Air quotes, money. Yeah.
Your mom said it's a Jerry Springer show. Jerry. I'm sorry, though. If you do it...
Okay, you could do straight porn for money.
Yeah. So don't let him fool you.
It was horrendous. He got dishonorably discharged from the military.
Oh, my God. See, I have friends that are straight, that are gay. Jim's tired. I have friends that are straight, gray, gay, purple, green.
Blue.
And you know what? It doesn't bother me. To each your own. And I would never tell somebody who they could or couldn't fall in love with or what they want to do with their lives.
I officially bat for both teams. I told that to somebody the other day, and it didn't feel wrong saying it.
It's my phrase. I said that, and you stole it from me.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
You're the person I got it from.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, so Gina, you're batting for both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I bat for both teams. And they're like, high five. And I was like, ooh, acceptance. Okay. High five. Cool. I know, now that my parents know, I really don't care about what anybody else thinks.
Gina's a switch hitter.
Switch it.
I know.
Which way is she batting today?
Whatever. You love who you love.
No, and that's all that matters. If you're happy, hey, who the hell is anybody else to tell you what to do?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You know?
And I would like to publicly thank Sarah for showing me that. That it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. It's about
Thank
feelings.
you, Sarah. I still got people lining up to be the meat in that sandwich. But
Oh, my God.
that's for a whole nother show.
Woo! And on that note, everybody have a fantastic Tuesday.
Absolutely. We will talk to you guys next Tuesday, same time, same channel. Everybody be safe. See ya.